What is up, everybody? Good evening. Well, this is why I went on a crazy deep dive right here. So let's take a look. This is why I did it.
What's up, TikTok? Another girl coming at you from Letcher County, Kentucky. Born and raised. I love this place. It's my home. I was raised here. I knew Judge Mullins. I knew Sheriff Stines. I know their families.
Sheriff Stines had tried to call his daughter, and he had tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also.
I'm here to talk about the corruption that has been here for decades that I know of.
Yep, it sure has.
Probably longer, probably deeper than any of us know. It can be a really dark place. It can be a really dark place. But with all the attention that's being focused here right now, I thought it might be a good time to tell you about what I know, to tell you about the things that I do know to be true. Not theories, not rumors. Truth. You guys might have the time and the resources to look into things that I don't. See how many people in Letcher County have been murdered. See how many of those people had connections to our courthouse. See how many of those murders are unsolved. I know at least one. Jack Blair. I'm his daughter. 24 years ago, this very day, his remains were laying in a car on its top on Pine Mountain. I can see it from where I'm sitting. 250 feet over the mountain. His remains would stay there until October 15th in 2000. I had just turned 18 years old. My dad went missing June 30th. He was involved in some stuff. If you want to Google him, go ahead. There's nothing that he's done that I am ashamed to say that he did, because nothing that he has done is worse than anything that these people in the news are being accused of right now. What I will tell you is he was a good man, and he was my dad. He was a son. He was a husband, a brother. He was missing for 3.5 months. 3.5 months. A detective wasn't even assigned to the case until after his remains were found by a man scouting for deer on his property. He came upon the car, saw that there was a body inside, contacted the local sheriff at the time. The state police were on the scene. The state police commissioner, I believe it was, the state police captain, Danny Webb. He was in charge of the investigation. I know at least 2 state troopers who were present when my father's remains were removed from the car that they were in, who begged for his remains not to be taken out of that car until the crime scene specialist came and did it. Because they have a saying, apparently, in the state police. It says, if it's showing bone, leave it alone. Well, my father had been decomposing for 3.5 months. He was found in jumper cables. I say bound in jumper cables because it wasn't an accident. that he was entangled in those. It was intentional. He couldn't have done it himself. It was decided by the medical examiner and one of the detectives that it would have been impossible for him to wrap himself in those cables like this on his own. This is from his autopsy report, which I have lots of newspaper articles like this, and like this, and like this, and this. Got all kinds. The state medical examiner and the forensic anthropologist renowned in her field, Dr. Emily Craig, she performed the autopsy in Frankfurt, which his body was taken to Frankfurt. I believe it was the next day, that night or the next day, after the crime scene had been traveled by a lot of local rescue squads, fire departments, things of that nature. Dr. Craig now uses in seminars, in trainings that she does, she uses my father as an example of what not to do when removing a body or someone's remains from a crime scene. It was that bad. Once she started to perform the autopsy, she realized that not everything was there that should have been there. So the cadaver dogs were taken back up to the mountain to find most of what was missing. Now, 24 years later, we know nothing more now than we knew then. The jumper cables weren't even fingerprinted. I mean, I'm not a detective. I'm not a police officer, but I think it could have. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. So the state police commissioner then, guess what he ran for right after my dad's murder? Got it. Sheriff of Letcher County. He was the sheriff of Letcher County until Mickey Stines won the election, until Mickey Stines was sheriff of Letcher County. There's a lot to be looked into. TikTok, and you can have a field day. There's something to think about. Something to look into while you're waiting on more details to come out about the hot topic. Here's some more Letcher County news for you. And I guarantee my daddy's not the only one.
Okay. So I had to do something about this because, first of all, her and her sister are my age. They were involved in sports growing up. Their dad was one of their, if not their biggest fan, growing up. Big softball family. These girls, great moms, and it's just a family full of sports. And so I wanted to look into this because I do believe it has something to do like that. When you have like that town feel of just like, this shit goes on all the time and nothing happens, and people will sometimes get arrested, and then next thing you know that all their charges are gone, things like that, blah, blah, blah. So I think a lot of people in that town know exactly what happened to her dad, to their dad. And so with that said, I'm going to tell you what I think after what I've done, which hopefully will be even more once I'm there to physically get some stuff. You get a lot more when you actually go to a courthouse. So let's talk about something here. First of all, her dad there, Jackie Blair, Jack Blair, he was caught. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to he was caught with a guy named Wilford Neese. Wilford Neese was a big time name, mining name, big time, the last name Neese in that area. You guys know if you guys are from that area. Wilford, Niece, run the cocaine, run the drugs in that town. And Jack Blair, which is her father, niece, and niece's wife, Melissa, goes by Missy. Well, I'm going to show you something. So let's go ahead and share screen. So I'm going to take us to Wednesday, March 8th, 2000. Police have discovered 7 stolen cars and trucks and a stolen equipment trailer abandoned in Letcher County since March 3rd. 2 cars and a pickup had been burned. Police believe the vehicles are being dumped because of an ongoing investigation of a multi-state vehicle theft ring. The 8 vehicles discovered Friday and Saturday put the total number of vehicles recovered from this theft ring well over 50. Police say one of the warehouses where stolen parts were found was rented by Wilford Henry Niece of Van. Niece is already facing drug charges stemming from a raid on his home and other property on February 9th. A federal grand jury in Lexington has indicted Wilford Henry Niece and 3 other Letcher County residents on cocaine-related charges. Niece, he's 60 at the time in 2000. His wife at the time, 30 years old, Melissa A. Niece, 30. Okay, he was 60. She's 30. His wife, Melissa A. Niece, 30 years old. And Jackie R. Blair, that would be the girl's video that you just watched there. That's her father, Jack, of McRoberts. They were all charged with conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine. Okay. Now, somebody over there at the courthouse, somebody over there at the police department, somebody over there that either A, didn't have their facts straight, or B, on purpose, decided to tell people that Jack Blair was going to rat or already had ratted and snitched on Henry or Woodford Niece. Sad thing is he never did. Okay. He never did. And so I'll leave it up to you guys whether you want to believe that this person did it on purpose or whether this person did it, they made a huge mistake. But after, I'll show you guys something else here. They really went after, by the way, this name Niece, especially him. He basically was running all the drugs. His family, he came from money. They had a ton of money. You can go back and actually something that I found, it was crazy. This 1983 story. Okay. This 1983 story is of people trying to put together a kidnapping to be able to extort money out of none other than so here's a crazy story for you. Kathy Osborne, Niece, staggered into a Virginia grocery store just across the Kentucky border last Friday, 4 days after she was abducted from Whitesburg Shopping Center parking lot. The complaint alleged that Mrs. Niece, a 23-year-old widow and mother of 2 small children, was gagged, bound, hand and foot and forced into a bedroom closet, said Bill Check, an FBI spokesman. Okay. The complaint further charged she was forced to make a tape recording requesting her father-in-law, Wilford Neese, bring 500 grand to a site, okay, or she would be killed, okay? Wilford Neese, whose dead son was Mrs. Neese's husband, okay, is the operator of the Neese Coal Company in Letcher County. The FBI said Mrs. Neese offered two of the kidnappers $50,000 to release her. They accepted her offer, drove her to a location Friday on Virginia Route 23, and released her about 300 yards south of the Pound Gap grocery. No money was ever paid. Those arrested were Marion Alfred Osborne, 30, Charles Douglas Osborne, 46, Larry Glenn Osborne, Roy Adams, 25, all of Letcher County, and Michelle Caudill, 23. Ronald, same last name, Marvin Osborne, and his wife, Teresa Osborne, 22, all of Harlan County. Police said Adams was the only one of the arrestees that was not related to Mrs. Neese. Okay, and said Miss Osborne and Ronald Caldwell were related only by marriage. Okay, this is back in 1983. If convicted as charged, each suspect could be sentenced to life in prison. The 8 appeared Thursday before U.S. Magistrate Coleman, where the FBI complaint was filed. Bond was set at $500,000. All 8 were being held in Letcher County Jail. Okay, again, taking you all the way back to 1983. Okay, now we're going to fast forward a little bit to now Jack on the side. He was obviously engaged in good man, good husband, dad, all the right things, and on the side, you know, breaking off and probably selling this dude stuff, right? They all get arrested, and somebody from, whether it's the courthouse, whether it's the police department, whether it's the sheriff's department, decided to tell Neese that Jackie went ahead and snitched on him, which I find really interesting. But now Neese was no stranger to law enforcement, and one of his cases involves taking a 14-year-old over and crossing state lines for the purposes to have sex with her. Okay, to do sexual acts. All right. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, you guys can look that one up. But this one was interesting to me. This was a 2007, this case. And it involved same man, Neese, but it also involved his wife. Again, remember, he's 60. She was 30 at that time of that, the 2000 incident. That's a 30-year difference. Okay? 30-year difference. What's going on right now in this case in this county? Well, we see the judge, for one, his wife was 17 years younger. We're seeing and hearing a lot about like younger girls, older guys in this little county. So hold on one second. Let me zoom in. When Wilford Neese was in good old prison, what a dumb man he is. Whoever this guy is, what a dumbass. I mean, he's dead now. The feds still wanted his ass. And so guess what they did to his ass? In friggin' prison, they were like, let's get him some more. Ready? They put a CI on his ass and get him roped up into this. They got his wife, Missy, Melissa, and then niece, and then this guy pretended like he was going to do deals with him because he was set to like get out of prison, and that his wife, who wasn't in prison at the time, and his was going to like hook up with the guy's son, and they were going to like exchange money and drugs and blah blah, and so continue their little bullshit. Well, the ATF and the feds made this guy a CI who this guy niece thought while he was in jail, thought that he was just, another one, just a prisoner inmate like himself. Nope. Okay. And they set up 5 to 6 control buys and then popped them all. Wild shit. But they wanted him that bad. Okay. And so for me and everything that I've researched, I know this won't be saying much, but I could definitely give those girls some stuff that I found and why I believe what I believe. But I don't know if Wilford Niece, if he had himself do the dirty work with Jackie Blair, or if he had, paid somebody to do it. But I will say that it was a little sweet justice inside that prison when they went ahead and the feds went ahead and jumped on him from once he got in there and made sure that they got him as a 3-time then offender, and he was doing life. Like I said, he's dead now. So, now, I'll have more with the whole Jackie Blair stuff, hopefully at the end of the week. Now, let's talk about the judge and let's talk about the sheriff. Okay. Everybody has to know that, and she gave us a nice little background there that, hey, the guy that was the sheriff before Mickey he was actually the guy that was supposed to be working my dad's case, or found, was Kentucky State Police, and his name's Webb. And then Webb literally goes from that case in 2001 to then literally, boop, within 6 months, runs for sheriff and becomes sheriff, and would then be sheriff for some crazy, I think, what was it, 16 to 20 years. Anyways, he did nothing to even try or even let the family think. I mean, let them think that you're working this case, okay? And so the people that I've talked to, when the Webb guy, the sheriff guy, takes over, and he's been there before Mickey gets there, and he retires. The Webb guy retires in 2018. And then so Mickey comes in around that time because he takes over. But out in the public, the way Sheriff Webb was, W-E-B-B, he publicly hated people that did drugs, hated people that sold drugs. Okay? So you would think that, wow, you must be like running some really great like area. Like if you hate people that do drugs and you hate people that sell drugs, like, you got to be running like a clean area over there. Nah. No. So, I did some digging and I wanted to find out what was going on right around the time that Webb is retiring. And that would be, like I said, 2018, 2019. And that Mickey would then like come in. Okay. And I was able to find, because we heard about the Ben Fields, and then he's married to Angie Fields. Angie Fields, and so Ben was a sheriff's deputy, and that's kind of how this whole ball got rolling. Where, wow, he got caught and he's about to take down everybody. I remember the feds were in on that. It's a federal indictment, and so, but what I want us to remind ourselves of is Ben is married to a girl named Angie Fields. Okay. They have a child together, but prior to Ben and Angie having a kid together, she has a child with somebody else. And that person, and because that's going to matter here in a little bit. But so Ben's, obviously sheriff's deputy, he gets Angie, she's now a jailer. And in 2021, you can go check out on their Facebook page and on Mickey's Facebook page. He has a picture. I guess I could print it out. I could show you guys. He has a picture of everybody that was working at the sheriff's department back then. But I wanted to go back to like 2018, 2019 to see what the heck was going on. Ready? So, and I did. And what I found was very interesting. In 2019, it was a 4-year investigation. Okay. Drugs, prostitution, probe brings arrest. Hold on, I want to print something out really quick too. Whoopsies. Let's see. I got to print one thing out so I can get this one. Re-elect Sheriff Danny R. Webb, March 5th, 2014. He posts and does this thing. I'm going to print this for you guys. And then this one. Now, if you guys did any research on what the judge was big into, he was big into getting people that were drug offenders, drug users, getting them this quote unquote help, through programming. And okay, so just so you guys know, there you go. There's your guy, re-elect Danny R. Webb. He posted on his Facebook page 2014. Okay, so now I would come across, though, a guy by the name of, and this little, I'm going to go like this, make it all bigger so you guys can see it, zoom in. Okay. It was a 4-year investigation into drug trafficking and prostitution in Eastern Kentucky. And it resulted in the arrest of a man with ties to a Letcher County coal company. Okay. And check this out. This guy's coal company that he started with another guy, it's called Mark Energy, M-A-R-K Energy. And sure as shit, when I pulled it on up, the guy that was the manager of this place, of this whatever coal company, Jeremy Sturgill, and that would be none other than the baby daddy and husband to Angie Fields' daughter, Haven. Okay. Angie Fields' daughter has an online OnlyFans that her husband, Jeremy, supports and promotes. I'm going to show you guys all of this stuff. And when I saw this link to, well, I was like, this place is so small. Like, if this guy's if he has this company, he has a business partner in it, but Jeremy's over here listed. If you go to LinkedIn, He's listed as the manager of this gold company, and who is none other than it used to be an addict, but his wife, baby mama, her mom and stepdad, jailers and sheriff deputy. Okay. Wow. Now, why is this important? Well, let's see what this is all about. Let's see what this is all about. Remember, this is 2019. All right. There'd be a city councilman right here involved as well, but let's check it out. Mark J. You guys can go ahead and Google away. He is a former Lexington accountant and one of 2 organizers of Mark Energy LLC. The successful bidder for this mine liquidated as part of the Black Jewel Holding Company bankruptcy. He is charged with conspiracy to distribute a quantity of pills containing oxycodone and conspiracy to engage in sex trafficking. Now, the criminal complaint alleges that a drug dealer and pimp in Laurel County ran a ring of dozens of women forced into prostitution to pay their drug debts to him. And that Mark there paid him several times a week to send 2 of the women at a time to his room at the Holiday Inn Express in London. But in addition to distributing allegations of human trafficking and drug abuse, the complaint also includes a text message in which the accountant says he and others intend to bankrupt this mine and start over. Now, I went on to read because what really got my attention was when I saw this. Ready? I blew it up nice and big for you guys. Okay. So Mark acknowledged he also helped recruit a young woman into the prostitution scheme. This is during his sentencing. He pled, and this was in 2020. But right here, Mark and another person in the conspiracy gathered information on the unnamed victim. There's a ton of victims, because I'm going to go back to that page and keep reading for you, while she was at a substance abuse treatment center. So they were being fed information on who was going to treatment centers and the drugs that they, basically here's this person. This is all about her, blah, blah, blah. This is what she likes, and, she'll be cut loose. And, they're doing, you can go to treatment centers for inpatient, tons of different things. But there's only a couple people that would ever be able to scout this for you because it's so private. Like, somebody from the inside is the only person that's going to be able to give you information, to gather information on people that would be going to these rehab facilities. So who would those people be? Well, I did a FOIA request because Judge Mullins, his big thing was this rehabilitation of people that would get caught with drugs, people that would be, it was we're not going to throw them in jail. We're going to rehabilitate. Now, people couldn't afford these programs. And so guess what though? Judge Mullins would make it court appointed. And when you make it court appointed, then they pay for it. Okay. And so that's how you're getting this treatment for free. But out of that deal, because I just made it court appointed for you, you then owe me some faves. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep you out of jail. You're going to go do this. I'm going to get a court. I want to see how much money was, being tossed around for all these court appointed, programs. Okay. You would know everything about them. Who's the person that can then tell you all about who these people are and what's up? I saw somebody write it in there. So then, now let's go back to this and see that, all right. You guys, this is wild. So just brace yourselves. They weren't clear at the time whether the message refers to the Letcher County mine, but Mark Energy appears to be the only mining company connected to Mark in the state's corporate records. Okay. I put one in. That's why I'm going there, man. Wait till you see this. Freebird. Oh, look out. Welcome. Welcome. Everybody else. Pam. Yeah, 11 months. Woo. Yuri. 5. Math teacher. Vix. Liking it. Hit that. Oh, yeah. Hit that heart. Hit that thumbs up. And who's turning green? Thank you there, Freebird. Appreciate you. So here we go. Ready? All right. So these are text messages. I'm going to make it, again, as big as I can. Okay. So Mark, until 13 days ago, the registered agent for the Mark Energy, he is accused of paying up to $5,000 a week for sex with prostitutes. Get out of here, man. You are so pathetic if you have to pay. Get pathetic ass. Provided by Logan Ray Towery, and he was a city councilman. Okay, wait till you guys hit. He's a city councilman. All right. So, and he is an accused pimp drug dealer in Laurel County and participating in a plan to pay for oxycodone and other drugs for girls and women. In a September 30th text message exchange between Mark and Towery. Again, this is who Towery is right here. Logan, look at him. Look at him. Okay. Okay. Mark alludes to the unnamed coal company connected to him. The texts were filed in an affidavit sworn by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Towery says, hey, any plans for tonight? Mark says, hey, man, I probably won't be down this week. We are going to bankrupt this mine and restart again later. Okay. Tremaine says immediately after that entry that he, quote unquote, knows that Mark Energy LLC, one of the successful bidders in that Black Jewelry Holdings bankruptcy liquidation, filed a notice of intent to mine in Letcher County. Mark Energy LLC lists Mark as one of its organizers. Okay, this is how I was able to trace all this stuff. Mark Energy advertised a notice of intent to mine in the Mountain Eagle on August 21st, stating the mine near Franks Creek encompasses, all this land, blah, blah, blah. A mining permit amended, increasing the surface acreage, so blah, blah, blah. The Mountain Eagle, which is this publication that I'm reading from, on October 16th. The second notice was 17 days later. Text messages, blah, 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 blah. Oh, right there. And 8 days before, Mark's name was replaced by Amanda Spangler. Now, Amanda Spangler is the wife of the guy's name who was on it before. I think it was Jeff Spangler. Let me check my notes, though. It was, Kenneth Spangler. And they then replaced Mark's name with hers. Okay? Literally, literally just did all that because holy shit, Mark's getting popped with all this crap, okay? So, again, remember guys, this is from 2019, all right? Because you have to start, if you want to know something, you gotta take us back a little bit. So, most of the other messages related to females, for Mark and discussions of their performance, looks, and addictions. The messages came to light after Kentucky State Police obtained a search warrant October 8th for that city councilman's home, cars, and person. Law enforcement officers confiscated guns, 125 suspected oxycodone pills, other unidentified pills, more than $44,000 in cash, and his cell phone. Most of the other, or I'm sorry, on the phone, according to the affidavit, there were over 1,400 pictures, many of them pornographic. So Tremaine has been able to identify a small portion of these women, approximately 40 local women and girls, the affidavit says. In addition to Mark and this Logan city councilman, agents arrested Gary L. Cupp and Albert Davis of Knox County. Agents say Logan Towery was also distributing drugs to Davis, and that Davis also ran a sex trafficking ring that included some of the same women that Towery used. Towery, Cupp, and Davis are charged with conspiring together to distribute pills containing oxycodone and pills containing oxymorphone. Where are we at here? Towery is charged with conspiring to recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, and maintain a person, knowing and reckless disregard of the fact that force, threats, both, all of it, engaged in a commercial sex act. Both Towery and Davis face charges of possession of firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking offense. Davis is also charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. According to the task force officer, Towery would sell pills to Davis and send girls to him for pills. It said the affidavit that Towery said Davis enjoyed inflicting pain on the women and photographing it. These people are sick. Sick. Okay. Towery personally observed injuries on some of the girls, on his girls, calls them his girls, including missing clumps of hair and marks. Towery stated that his girls have complained of Davis using alligator clips, the fuck, to the point of drawing blood, beating them, and ripping out their hair. Okay. Now, affidavit in the case dates back to 2015. Boom, shakalaka. Go back to vote in, re-elect Danny Webb. Woo! So Danny Webb, you old son of a bitch. Danny Webb. It was all happening on your dime, baby. Over there in Letcher. Okay. So Danny Webb basically leaves right as this stuff's coming down. Right? Let's see. Now, again, affidavits, this was like a 4-year, in order to take this stuff down, 4 years. Affidavits in the case date back to 2015, showing the investigation began when a woman called 911 from a motel in Rock Castle County asking for help. When officers arrived, they found a dead man in the room and learned that Towery was supplying drugs to this woman and to the man who had died. According to affidavits filed by ATF agents, Towery would procure 300 to 500. Jesus, that's a ton of pills a week from a source in Detroit and distribute. Now, how they were able to find this stuff out is because when people started cutting deals, they wanted to know where it was coming from. Okay. That's how they got federal deals. That's how these people, because you're going to see if you Google them and you look into them, how many years they only got. They were coughing up names. Okay. So a source in Detroit and distribute them around Laurel. Usually in 100 pill lots. Okay. He made exceptions for the women. The affidavit says fronting them. So listen what they would do. They would they'd get these women, they know they had drug problems. They would front them these pills, meaning here, you can just have them, blah, 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 or here, just, you can pay me back later. Get them all, as they use the words, doped up. And then they would make them pay them back. And how they would do that is, you will see. So he made exceptions for the women. The affidavit said fronting them pills a few at a time or one at a time, delaying payment to keep them coming back. During questioning by ATF agents on October 29th, again, this is 2019, Logan Towery identified Mark as his biggest prostitution customer. And he would sometimes, quote unquote, front pills to Mark, meaning giving them to him on credit. Now, I personally believe that there is no way in hell that this Mark guy, that all $5,000 a week for sex was for him. Okay? I'm sorry, but this guy, he was an accountant, he's a businessman, and he's married. All right. And I mean, unless he busts in 3 seconds every time and sorry, buddy. But I could see possibly it being all run through his name to keep other people's names off anything. All right. Because this guy, Towery, oh yeah, he's my biggest client. He pays me $5,000 a week. Okay, Towery, you idiot. I personally think, like, my brain believes that he was setting it up. I'm sure he obviously did what he did, this Mark guy, no doubt about it, but that there was other people. Okay. So again, he's like, oh yeah, he was my biggest customer. And he would sometimes front pills to that dude, Mark, meaning give them to him on credit to give to the girls, like, that he would be meeting up with. Mark would then pay him back from the drugs when he paid for the sex of Towery would take it out of the girls' pay. According to the affidavit, other times Towery allegedly told law enforcement he would front the pills to the girls. And when they had sex with him, they would use part of the money they received to pay him for the drugs. Now, remember, this is like a 4 to 5 year operation to take this down. Just remember that. According to the affidavit, Mark paid Towery $4,000 to $5,000 a week, and also obtained girls from a high roller escort site on the internet. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Towery advised that Mark would have girls delivered to the hotel like clockwork in pairs of 2, the affidavit says. Towery stated that Mark normally liked 2 girls at the same time. The text messages show Mark knew the women were on drugs. He and Towery discussed one girl's use of H and a plan to get her switched to Oxy to control her drama. In another, the two discussed other prostitute who Mark allegedly hired who had died. Okay? Who had died. So Towery says, example of victim 6, dangerous activities. Victim 7 was found dead of overdose of that H yesterday. So, like, instead of saying like their names, or victim 6 and victim 7. Now, back in a text message, the same victim 7 that I saw a bunch of times, question mark, like, she's like, dead. And then according to the affidavit, at least 2 of the women Mark was seeing died of overdoses. At least 14 victims of the prostitution ring are listed in the affidavit, and at least 1 other target of the investigation. In another message, Mark complains that one of the prostitutes stole from him while he was in his room. Mark says, that's a shame. Victim 1 has disappeared on me, and she took at least $1,000 with her. At least she left my wallet alone. Towery says, always secure your money with anyone, especially if they do drugs. All girls I've ever met in business are on something. Have you heard from her? I think I'm done with these drug heads for a while. They're too risky in too many ways. and just not worth it. The girls from SA are clean and better looking. And I don't know if anybody's from that area in those counties over there. It is not clear what SA means. So I'm curious if anybody out there knows, because law enforcement didn't disclose what it meant. They didn't know. Maybe it was a typo. You know. In another, the two discuss a new prostitute who the affidavit described as a young blonde girl. Okay, remember, I want you guys to remember this. The sheriff, so Mickey, he had a depot with feds, okay? Feds did all of this. Let's see. Victim 12 said, "You wanted to see her Wednesday, correct?" Yes, let's do it. She's a freak. Do you, do you want to try another new girl too? Sends photo, young blonde girl. Another skinny freak blonde. Did you get messenger photos naked? What? These people are wild, man. Looks sexy as hell. I'm in. You need to add me as a friend on Facebook. You ready for this? Oh, essays maybe seeking arrangements. Interesting. He says, oh, wait. He says, too risky. Wife looks at my page. Sounds good on tomorrow night. Okay. Victim 13. Friends call her Victim 13. Another spinner. Do you guys know what that means? These people are sick. So when it says Victim 13, it's like her name. Blank. Friends call her blank. Another spinner. Supposed to be a freak. If I can hold up, I will try her out. If I can hold up, I will try her out tonight. What? With a girlfriend and all this new meat and the other pill whores killing this old man. LOL. This is this sick ass councilman. Okay. Grandpa. I mean, I wonder how much money they were spending on Viagra. Sick bastards. And then Mark says, use it or lose it, smiley face. Like, what a perv. Like, how's prison, Mark? The affidavit outlines how Towery allegedly gave girls as young as 17 pills free. Until they were addicted. Then began charging them. When they couldn't pay and began to have withdrawal, he would take payment in sex acts. What he called training them, and then make dates for them with Mark or other men. Do you see that? So there ain't just Mark or other men. One told agents she was paid $500 for sex with Mark, but had to kick back some of the money to Towery to pay for the pills he had given her on credit. Another girl referred to as Victim 3 in the complaint told agents Towery paid her in drugs to recruit others into prostitution. So now you got girls recruiting other girls. To recruit others into. See that? You know, like when your friends say, oh no, it's cool, I hang out with these people all the time, like it's gonna be fine. The affidavits said she and another girl were to be paid $500 each by Mark for sex, but Towery took $300 of the second girl's payment to pay himself back for the heroin he gave them prior to the date. $300 for heroin? That's pretty expensive, isn't it? She said Mark also paid Towery $200 each for the girls in addition to their payments. What? That's $700. I mean, do you guys believe this? Now, according to the affidavit, victim 3 said she would often pass out during sex with Mark. And on one night, she passed out on the bathroom floor where Mark woke her up to have sex. Another girl identified in the affidavit as victim 4 had been in custody of her older sister and was exposed to oxy when her sister was having sex with a man identified only as Snowman. Coke Man, Snowman. Snowman blow. Jeez. She said she began taking pills too, and Snowman introduced her to Towery, who gave her free pills until she was far in debt to him. Towery then set up sex with Mark and took all of the $500 he paid her for 2 hours of sex to pay off debts for the pills to which she was addicted, the affidavit says. So $500 for 2 hours. Victim 4 stated that she also used heroin in Mark's hotel bathroom. Victim 4 stated that Mark did not mind if a girl nodded off during sex. For example, victim 4 stated that she saw victim 3 nod off and Mark just kept having sex with the victim. Victim 4 also nodded off herself during sex with Mark, the affidavit says. Now, again, here's Mark. He was the accountant slash, then the Letcher County. He started up his little mining, and none other than Ben Fields' stepdaughter, Jeremy, was his manager. And I'm going to print this off because then I just couldn't even believe what I saw next. So now, I'm printing it now. So this guy, he used to be a city councilman, and that's that Towery guy. He's the pimp guy, all right? And now wait till you see what this says. So when I looked up their little company, this little thing called, right here, Mark Energy LLC, it was then, that's how I found out who this manager was, which was Jeremy Sturgill, and he is a name that's connected in that area, and he is the baby daddy husband to his wife, which is Ben Fields' stepdaughter. Ben Fields is the deputy sheriff that just got in trouble and basically is what took this all down. So, well, once again, my fellow citizens have disappointed me in this election cycle. Everyone wants to bitch about the bad around here, but if the county judge does a little patchwork on roads here and there in the last year leading up to the election, they're more than likely to forget the last several years of neglect, unreliability, and unsatisfactory leadership. If you voted the same old shit back in, don't be complaining. So I'm like, okay. Yep. And so then I was like, okay, let me just, okay, he wants to be involved with local. Okay, I can dig that. Then I said, oh, hell no when I saw the rest. I said, wow. I said, well, okay, so here's Jeremy promoting his baby mama. Okay. Wifey life, wifey material, sexy, hot for you page, OnlyFans, content creator, adult content, NSFW, dollars, money, grind, hustle. Haven, OnlyFans, solo content, couple content, customs, girlfriend experience, and much more. Only $15 per month. So OnlyFans, right? Oh, it gets worse. Then here we go. Let's back it on out. For everyone asking, yes, we still have OnlyFans. But after catching COVID and me having a kidney stone that I still haven't passed, and of course now the flooding, we've decided to scale back a little. It was becoming a little less fun since we were focusing so hard on it anyway. That being said, some prices will be changing to fit better with the amount of new content we're planning to make. Of course, all of that is subject to change. We may fire back up to max capacity in the near future once we've had a little break and our life gets back to normal. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? Okay, I need you guys to understand this connect. All right. Jeremy is married to her and is like her OnlyFans manager, which they do some couple stuff. She is her, okay, I'll print this one off. I'll just start printing them all off now. Like, this is no secret. Like, so the sheriff deputies, I mean, it's like her daughter. It's like his daughter. I mean, come on. Stepdaughter has an OnlyFans page, right? And and it's highly publicized on Jeremy's Facebook page, who is the manager to the Mark guy who got popped for the ring. Okay. Here you go. Angie Fields. She worked at the jail. Married to Ben Fields. Okay. This is all of them in September 8th, 2021. Okay. There's your crew. Angie Fields in September of 2021, letting everybody know that, hey guys. So right back here, even you could, there's your sheriff. This is Ben Fields right here. Okay, I'm going to put a chart together. And then here's Angie, Letcher County. Guess what, y'all? We are hiring both male and female deputies. Please share. I bet you are. Now, I have a family affair up in here. Then, give you a picture of them. There you go. Ben Fields, Angie Fields. This is the guy that was, No. Talk about ironic stuff. I'm going to show you guys something else. I went and looked for people that were missing around the same time. And I about fell over. And here we have Angie Fields sharing people that were missing this girl, and it was, as bad as I hate to say this, she was found deceased last night in Tennessee. Thanks for all of the shares and prayers, but keep our daughter in your prayers. I still think there's something weird about this. I don't care what anybody says. I like to end this. And so someone somewhere has seen or knows something about the whereabouts of our sister. Okay, July 8th, 2021. Angie Fields shares this. Okay, July 9th, 2021. And again, this was a girl that was mixed up with drugs. Okay. And then they want to say that it was a alleged suicide by herself in a car. Then Angie Fields is sharing another. Sheila Crawford's on June 16th, 2011. My world was forever changed. With when my 29-year-old son going missing with no trace of him being left behind. There are people around here that know what happened, but choose not to tell. I share Jeffrey's picture on here every June 16th, praying someone will come forward. I don't know what to say that I haven't already said over and over. It never gets any easier. I really just want it to be over, but I know when God says it's over, it will be finished. I love him dearly and miss him every day. Not being able to have that closure is just eats at me constantly. So I'm doing it a little different this year. All revolving around the drug recovery program. Absolutely. And that's what I'm about to get into. The icing on the cake for me was when I read Judge Mullins' obituary. Usually in someone's obituary, you're going to hear things about like what their favorite things are in life, their hobbies, what they love to do. And the only thing in Judge Mullins' obituary is work. Is literally work. I'm going to read it. So again, this is Ben Fields. I want to share a couple other things before I get to that. Now today, Judge Mullins' wife, Kim, changed and uploaded a new picture for her, or she just changed it. Okay. Now, again, before I read his obituary, I have to show a couple other things, and then I'll be done. Now, right before this shooting, okay, shit was hot, just so you guys know. Shit was hot in this town right around 2021. Like, started to get really, really hot. 2021, 2022, boom, hot as hell. As far as like, there is shit going crazy. It's all coming apart. Okay, it's all coming apart. 2022 is in January. That's when the girl filed her civil suit. Ben Fields is going down. All right, just so you guys can understand that. So this shooting doesn't happen until September of 2024. And so it's like, I don't know, a year and a half. Prior to that, On July 3rd, 2024. Now, I about spit my drink out. Okay? I about spit my drink out because I couldn't even believe this. Governor Andy has appointed Matt Butler as the new 47th District Commonwealth Attorney after Edison G. Banks retired effective July 1st. Butler, now, remember who Butler is. So this is Matt Butler is married or was married to Judge Mullins' sister-in-law, his wife's sister. Okay, was. Now, Butler is the Democratic candidate for the office and will be filling the position at least until the election this November. Now, they talk a little bit about who he is, where he came from, but let's get to why I even want to talk about this. Banks, who served in the office. So who's been, remember I told you guys, in order to create this triangle, if you're ever going to be successful at true corruption, like a mofo, you have to have the triangle, which is you have to have a judge, you have to have a prosecutor, and then you have to have someone in law enforcement. That's your triangle. Without that triangle, you can't pull off what you want. Okay? So you need your DA, prosecutor, you need a judge, and you need LE. Okay? Otherwise, you can't do it. So here we go. I about fell out of like I said, I spit out my drink. So Banks, who served in the office for 23 years, all corrupt years, 23 years, submitted his letter of retirement March 27th to be effective July 1st, but did not withdraw from the race as of this week, was still slated to appear on the ballot. If he removes his name before August 13th, the county Republican Executive Committee could appoint a replacement candidate. But several other attorneys said they could not think of anyone who is qualified for the office, interested in serving, and registered to vote as a Republican. So now, ready? The State Prosecutor's Advisory Council and the governor's office provided the letter and other documents late last week in response to an open records request. Banks requested in February that the Attorney General send special prosecutors to handle cases here when current Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Nick Whittaker also had to take sick leave for surgery, leaving no attorney to run the office. You guys, no attorney to run the office. You guys, this is sick. This is insane. There was nobody running. There was nobody running the. Wait, what? Oh, it gets better. So, and I'm like, wait, why? Like, what's this chap doing? You know what I mean? What's this guy up to? All right, listen to this. Okay. The state product, So Banks requested in February that the Attorney General send special prosecutors to handle cases here when current Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Nick also had to take sick leave. Okay. Timesheets provided by the Prosecutors Advisory Council show Banks was on sick leave for at least 18 out of the past 37 months. Okay. He had a heart attack, but wait, what do you mean 18 out of the last 37 months? What is the judge doing? Like, your judge, like, listen to this. Banks was embroidered in controversy last fall. So last fall, which would have been like 2023. So last fall, over criticism from other attorneys that he was not showing up for court dates, causing cases to be delayed Banks suffered a heart attack in May of 2021. Who gives a shit? Okay. May of 2021. I get it. Awesome. Okay. And returned to work briefly the following January before having to go back to the hospital. Banks told the Mountain Eagle in October that his doctor would not allow him to come home without 24-hour care. 24-hour care. And so he hired a certified nurse aide to move into his house in April of 2023. She is 23 years old. 23 years old, none other than Taylor Pratt, baby. Come on down. Wait, you guys, it gets better. 23-year-old nurse who was arrested April 19th, 2023, while riding in Banks's 2013 Tahoe with an unidentified driver. That arrest came shortly after she was ticketed for speeding while driving Banks's vehicle to a different court appearance in Pike County. The charges were dismissed June 13th by a Perry County judge. Wait for this. Perry County judge. When a special prosecutor from Bell County failed to answer a motion by the defense that the evidence be suppressed. Police initially charged her with trafficking in a controlled substance, meth, and other drug-related charges, and said they believed some of the drug charges or some of the drugs were LSD, but Sheriff Mickey Stines said, no. The lab found the drugs that they were actually fentanyl. So it gets better because now everybody wants to talk about your sheriff, but your sheriff here, Mickey, says, no. Okay. Let me tell you about what's going on. Ready? And then it says right here, Stines said he has attempted to contact Bell County Commonwealth's attorney, Lisa, to find out why no response to the motion was ever filed and why she filed a joint motion with the defense to dismiss the case. But she has refused to talk to him. So if Sheriff Mickey Stines is so corrupt, I think the last thing that he would be doing is having any issues with this. He wouldn't be saying he called and unless he's lying about all of this. But it looked like Mickey had a problem with this. Like, what the heck are you doing? What do you mean what's going on here? Okay. Now, so now this is all leading up to this. This is July 3rd. Now, August 28th, and I'll be closing this out because I'm giving you a lot of material. Commonwealth Attorney's Office is back at full staff, guys. August 28th, 2024, literally just a couple weeks before this happens. Like, literally. Letcher County Commonwealth's Attorney Office is back to full staff following the appointment of a new prosecutor in July. Commonwealth's Attorney Matt Butler said Tuesday that former Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Michael Watts has returned to the office to join. Now, I want to know why he ever left in the first place. We're going to find out a ton of stuff's going to be coming out. But so basically you're talking about Matt Butler. Okay. Then you're talking about Michael Watts. New. Okay, so he's returned to the office to join current Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Nick. Now, Nick, he was there before, but Butler has also hired Sandy Fields. It's new. And that was his old secretary, okay? All right. So remember, we're talking about these 4 witnesses that were in chambers prior to this all happening. There was 4 people in there prior to this all happening. 4, they say, witnesses. And I said, wait, were they like, who could possibly be back in, like, there's no way these are just street clothes people, citizens. I said, no, I think I found our 4. And I believe that would be Matt Butler, Michael Watts, Sandy Fields, and Nick Whittaker. Now, I could be totally wrong though. Watts resigned. Look at this. Watts resigned in July 2023, saying the workload in the office was too much for 2 part-time attorneys, and he needed to focus on his private practice. Now we all know what that means. Watts' return was noted in a news release from Kentucky Attorney General Russell, congratulating Butler on his appointment, which was effective July 1st. Governor Andy appointed Butler. We read all that. The rest of the office staff, which includes an office manager, victims advocate, and detective, remains the same as before, said Butler. And those are your only other 4 options right there, but they don't have any names. But this is who's in this office, and this is how small it is. The rest of the office staff. So it's who I just put here. Matt, Michael, Andy, Nick. You got the judge. And then you have an office manager, victims advocate. Who's the detective? I'll find out this week. And there you go. The office had been short-staffed for years. You guys, years. Not just like a couple days, a couple weeks, a month. Years. You guys, everybody that's living in that county right now, like America maybe got their like, whoa, my God, can you believe this happened? Everybody in Letcher County. Yeah, this is where this was headed. This is where this was headed. This is not a surprise to these people. I'll tell you that right now. People, you're not going to hear, for them to say that they're shocked, truly put microphones like I'll do, and there's not people that are shocked at this. Okay. This town, this area, this county, and some of the ones that kiss the county. This was headed right towards this. This was headed this way. Because there was no, do you understand? There's everybody. It's like the movie Purge in a way there. You could do just whatever no one's getting in any type of trouble. Because no one's policing, there's no authority. There's just, you got a judge that was just like, oh, Banks didn't show up. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go to the office. I'm going to go back to the chambers and smoke cig. Like, not like saying, what the hell's going on around here? Banks, where the hell are you? What are you doing? No, it was just like, okay. Just another day. So this isn't a shock to these people there, right? Not shocked at all. There you go. I bet you live there. Gritty Gret, like that name. Like it. Like it. And I want to know why didn't the judge, it was COVID, and you guys, everything got to change. Why isn't this why isn't this prosecutor, Banks, saying we're going to be doing a lot of hearings, at via Zoom. Okay. So why weren't they having Zoom meetings? I mean, could this guy, like literally Banks, could he not function? I mean, this is ever since COVID. I mean, it literally changed the way that everybody could function and work. Like you could literally work from home, and knowing that you were allowed to do that, like, so it's wild. Now, again, the office had been short-staffed for years due to illness. Former Commonwealth attorney Edison Banks has had several stays in a hospital and nursing home and had rarely appeared in court for at least 3 years. He's the only 3 years. He had barely shown his face for 3 years. 3 years. Timesheets provided by the Prosecutor's Advisory Council show Banks was on sick leave for at least 18 out of 37 months, beginning in May of 2021 when he suffered a heart attack. He was faced with controversy last fall over criticism from other attorneys. Like I said this before, because this is kind of like repetitive. But let's take a look. Again, these were from other attorneys that he was canceling court dates, causing cases to be delayed. And guess what? The judge isn't doing anything. And no one did anything. The judge didn't give a shit. Like, Banks returned to work briefly in January of 2022 before having to go back to the hospital. Meanwhile, a state database shows his salary from 2021 through 2023 ranged from $129,000 a year in 2021, $148,000 in 2023. The state sets the salary for Commonwealth attorneys. Butler is paid $152,000 per year. Banks told the Mountain Edge in October of 2023 that his doctor would not discharge him from the hospital without 24-hour care. And so he hired a certified nurse aide to move into his house. 23-year-old. Come on, baby. Sit on grandpa's lap. This is your prosecutor. Yo, DA. Yo, district attorney. Oh my God. So, the other part here. Yeah, I mean, just these salaries, like, dude getting paid, not even showing up. Okay. Stines never gives me impression of corrupt. I know. Well, that's what I'm breaking down the barriers to show you that I can tell you this right now. Stines walked into, without a doubt, 100%. He inherited one of the biggest shit shows I think I've ever seen. That's like publicly out there. Okay. It's publicly out there. I mean, because you got to compare the date when he took office. Okay. And if you truly think that Ben Fields boy had just hooked up and was doing that stuff with the judge in the chambers, if you think that just happened because Mickey took over office, hell to the motherfucking no. That is not. And I found a link that pretty much puts a T crossed so bold and an I dotting so bold when I found the whole Jeremy is married to their daughter and he's the manager for the Mark guy that was the running the ring. Okay. He's been there for years. Yeah, that's it. But I was just trying to say, like, it's not just because he became the sheriff's deputy. Okay, now I can start. Hell no. Okay. Hell no. Hell no. And I think there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, they knew stuff was going on, and everybody is saying that they weren't the one. They weren't the one. They weren't the one. Okay. I personally believe that deposition, in the questioning that was asked, but not only at depositions are you asked questions, but you are physically shown stuff. If they want to show you, here's an exhibit of this, here's an exhibit of this, here, we were able to go ahead and get your phone records. We were able to go ahead and get you this. So this guy is being shown things, talking about the sheriff. He's being shown exhibits and being questioned in a deposition. Okay. And when you're asking people who you're pals with or whatever, like, because you don't want to, you got to be careful where you're going to even do that. But I think that all the stuff that's been going on, everybody was always pointing the finger like, oh yeah, it was that person, it was that person, it was that person. But then they would go ahead and get rid of that person, and then the shit was still there. The shit was still there. Okay. So after the research that I've done, I personally believe that Mickey believed, and still to this day believes, that whatever that man was doing, he's been doing it for a long time, and nobody was going to stop him. Okay, nobody was stopping him. There is no he's a judge. Who's going to stop the judge? You don't even have a DA there. You know what I mean? But I do think it's interesting that this all happened right in this September time period when the new people were settling into their spots, and then that deposition, and then I think Mickey, people said that he started acting differently after Labor Day or whatever. I think he did some soul searching. I think he did a lot of soul searching because it's almost like he couldn't believe it. But then he had to get in detective mode himself to do whatever he could to try to like either prove what these people just were saying to him and provide him, or prove opposite, or try to like. But that man was given stuff, and I think it's all going to come out. I think it's going to come out. People are saying it depends on if the sheriff wants to. It won't. They're trying to say it's not going to come out because he's going to protect people's reputations, aka his daughter and his wife. You guys, this is stuff that's when you have a town like that. You know how many people look up to other people like family and like their kids. Okay, so like that may be my daughter's best friend, but to me as a parent, like that's like a second kid to you. Okay, and so there's got to be a bunch of people in that town that Mickey's family would feel that way about their kids as friends, and they're family friends. Like, what do you mean? Like, you love them like they were like your niece, your nephew, like, and because I heard other people say that, oh well, what, he only started having a problem once he found out it was his daughter. No. I think he had a problem with it for a long time. He just never knew who the true people were behind all this shit, because they kept on lying and saying other people were the ones, or no, like, come on, that's bullshit. We're doing all these things for these people. We have them in, instead of putting them away in jail, I'm putting them in these rehabs. Like you saw, like you wanted to clean up the drugs. That's what we're doing. Like, what do you mean? What do we do? Okay, put them in jail. Like, what's going on? Like, I just feel like that stuff's all going to come out. But this is fucking wild that you would have no authority going on because if you're the sheriff, why are you even out there policing when you go and you do something to bring them to a jail that, like, that next phase, nothing's happening because we don't even have a prosecutor. So what's the good of me being a sheriff over here, and I got a judge and I got a DA? What the fuck's going on? Like, you guys are not even here. Like, what? I think Stines was livid pissed about this girl Taylor Pratt. So I'm gonna look into Miss Pratt here a little deeper, but don't you think it's just a little ironic that good old Banks would get himself a 23-year-old bunny to be living with him? Come on, y'all. That's wild. Who would ever even want to do that? I mean, unless I can dig, I'm gonna dig some more and see if she had if there was like a house on the property and she basically had her own little house or like a what, but that's wild. Now I will say this, that in the 1970s, you guys aren't gonna believe it, but this paper here, there was cops that decided to light fire to this establishment, and that's going to be something I talk about at the next time. So what about the sheriff's daughter? I would say not to listen to mainstream media, because I'm going to do a live. I just might even do like a pre-record, but everybody's misinterpreting what truly, without that video. You want to know, you need to go watch Crime Talk interviewed Stines' two attorneys. It's husband and wife. Okay. Maybe I'll just play it here tomorrow. But the questions that were being asked and the way that his attorneys were answering those questions changes the game for me. And so I'll cover that more, but I don't think that the daughter would have been there at the courthouse. And the mother, but I want to do a couple more. I want to dig a couple things. I want to dig a little deeper for a couple things. But you need to go watch that interview. It's like 20, 30 minutes, not long. So, but I'll share it on my community page, and then I'll play it in a live tomorrow, and then I'll talk about it. So that way you guys can get a jump on it. But this should keep you busy here. So yeah, this has been going on for a while, and there is a ton of missing people, drugs, murder, and Ben Fields doing 6 months. Get the fuck out of here. Ben Fields, shame on you. Angie Fields, shame on you. And then here, like at the whole damn time, OnlyFans, and a husband is her basically manager. And then he's doing it with her so they can, I don't know. I don't even know. I think there's a lot of videos, guys. And there's a lot of videos of a lot of people. All those people were taking photos and videotaping everything. So, you know what if you guys know about the Delphi case, think about the Delphi case and take out the 2 girls being victims of a murder and change that out with 2 people going at it and that are in the criminal justice system of that area. And then and start thinking about it like that. And I think that you will but Carroll County, meet Letcher County. Letcher County, meet Carroll County. Holy shit. Lana, did you see that Todd Click was arrested the other day? Fuck, are you kidding me? No, I'm gonna have to go look at that now. Oh, and by the way, my 10 o'clock live, I don't know why, it's tomorrow. It's my big live for the Sunday Night Live. I got some new stuff that I want to put out for the obvious suspect, Jennifer Drake. Come on down, Jenny. So, oh, what 20? I'll put it on my community page. I'll go ahead and I'll upload that right now. It's a couple days ago, 3 days ago. The sheriff's female and male attorneys were interviewed, and I believe their husband and wife, Jeremy and I can't remember her name, the blonde. They know what they're doing. They're good. They're good, and they've spoke to their client, and based on their answers, what that Kentucky State Police officer said on that stand, I would hate to be him. So I found Haven on OnlyFans. There you go, Chris Harder. Have a good night. Enjoy that. Pay your $15. I still don't even know how OnlyFans works. You know, on your way out, guys, please thumbs it up, share the video. We're gonna get some voyeur requests in here. We're gonna hopefully I got some camera footage. Yeah, and there's a lot of good people. Like I told you at the beginning of this video, when I saw Ashley put that out, I was like, holy shit, I gotta look into this, because I couldn't imagine being involved with my sports in high school, and then I come home one day and my dad never comes home again, and that whole town who says that they love us and we're such a small knit community, and he's missing for 3 months, and then we find him. Like and that was like end of high school going into college, because I'm the same age as they are. So sick. All because somebody decided to tell some guy that Jack ratted. He didn't snitch. There's been somebody that's been a jealous fuck in the Letcher County court system for a long time, who I've seen it in Aliquippa. You put out a lie like that, and someone says, listen, I worked there. Like, I know, like, hello. They cut a deal and they're telling blah, blah, blah. So sad. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. See you on the flip side. Be kind to one another out there. The interview will be on my community page. It is, I'll share it on my community page. If you guys can't find it, I will be playing it tomorrow.